Hello everyone and welcome back to Odds on Bundesliga. On today's show we'll be previewing every game on Matchday 23 of the German top flight with tips and predictions on every single game. If you enjoyed the show, please make sure you give us a thumbs up on the video, subscribe to the channel and also hit that notifications bell to make sure you don't miss any of our daily betting video uploads. And remember, you can still win that £10 free bet from Novibet simply by adding a comment in the comment section below. And now, let's get on with the show. So it's match day 23 in the German top flight, and Bayern's lead at the top has been reduced to just 2 points. With me to preview every single game is football and betting expert Radek Vegas. Welcome to the show.
Hello Tom, how are you? Let's go 23 game day.
It's going to be a good one, and it starts on Friday night. It's of course in Bundesliga, always does. We start with Werder Bremen against Eintracht Frankfurt. Frankfurt are absolutely flying up the table. Werder, they're 12th. They've got one win in their last 5, and they were comprehensively beaten by Hoffenheim 4-0 last weekend. Eintracht, though, they're on an incredible run of form. They won 5 in a row. They've won 9 of their last 10, drawing the other. And they've actually scored 2 in all of these games. Eintracht -1 on the Asian handicap comes in at 2. What do you like the look of in this one?
Yeah, obviously Frankfurt is on a hot streak, and after beating Bayern Munich, they are now thinking of playing Champions League next year. This would be awesome because Frankfurt is not one of the teams you expect to have in a Champions League, and I think they have never played in Champions League because they were down in the bottom of the standings year after year, and made the last 3 to 4 years really good improvements with Niko Kovac as coach, and now with Adi Hütter they have a brilliant team out of their money, and so they are really awesome. They have a good football culture, a good audience, fan culture, and amazing what is happening there. I like them really much, and in this game I think for sure they are the favorite because nothing more to say. They won against Bayern Munich. Bremen lost against Hoffenheim. Clear win for Frankfurt on the sheet, but anyway, in the German league, we often see teams who are playing good against Bayern Munich losing their form after this game somehow, and maybe this can be a point not to bet on a Frankfurt win. I really like the odds of 1.8 here because everything said Frankfurt should be the clear better team here. And the odds are still okay with 1.8 to bet on Frankfurt. Asian handicap -1 on Frankfurt, also very interesting thing. You get odds of 2.47 if Frankfurt wins with 1 or with 2 goals in advance, and you get your money back if they only win with 1 goal. So also a thing to consider. If you think Frankfurt is the way better, then go for it. Asian handicap -1 is a brilliant odd. I am a bit conservative here and would say a 3-way win on Frankfurt with 1.8 is my favorite bet here.
Okay, Eintracht 1.85 on Oddspedia does look a good bet, certainly for them to continue that fine run of form. We spoke about Bayern. That's our first game on Saturday. They're at home to Cologne. They're going to have to bounce back from their mini dip. Of course, they're top. Their lead at the summit has been reduced to 2 points following that draw with Bielefeld and the defeat to our last match's Eintracht. They hammered Lazio in the Champions League in midweek, and they got a star came to promise there in Jamal Musiala, 17-year-old on the score sheet. An English guy who's going to be actually selecting to play for Germany. Very exciting talent there. They play Cologne. Those impressive back-to-back wins were followed up by back-to-back defeats. They're 3 points above the relegation playoff place, but they're certainly not out of trouble in this one. Is there any way that Bayern don't succeed and going back to winning the ways here?
Yeah, for sure. I don't expect that there will be anything else than a Bayern Munich win here. The odds of 1.2 are way too dangerous and too low to bet on, even if it's might seem the clearest bet in the world, maybe. But you said it. Cologne is in a good shape, and I don't think that they are in trouble being relegated. So. But they have to collect their points against other teams, and at home by Munich, no matter how many injuries they have, I think they have to win this game. Not sure how huge the win will be, but can be also a close game of 2-1 if you bet on Asian handicap on Cologne. It's a kind of gambling that Cologne is showing their best team and form, but I don't like to bet against Bayern Munich, and I'm not happy with the small odds on Bayern Munich, so a no bet for me here.
Okay, if Bayern didn't win for a third game, that'd be the first time that's happened since 2018, actually. The outrights here, Bayern at 1.2, as you said. The draw is 8.6, and Cologne to win at the Allianz would be massive 17.0 odds. But yeah, looks unlikely for that one. Borussia Dortmund versus Arminia Bielefeld is the next game. Dortmund ready to hunt down those Champions League spots. They've been in dodgy form. They're 6 points off those, as I said, the Champions League qualification spots for next season. Just 2 wins in the league in their last 5. Their last 2 games, were against Schalke, that 4-0 hammering in the derby, and that impressive 3-2 win over Sevilla in the Champions League, which was a return to good form there. Bielefeld, on the other hand, they are in that relegation playoff place, but they've got a game in hand. They're huge odds of 17 again to win at Westfalenstadion. Can you see a mini upset, or are you looking at goals in this game? What are you looking at?
Nothing really, because the odds in Dortmund are ridiculous low. But I expect them to win anyway. As you said, they are getting back to their top conditions, and they beat Bielefeld in the first round of the season with 2-0. And I think at home they will win also 2-0, 3-0 maybe. But still no value in the odds on Dortmund here. And betting on goals is also kind of dangerous, because Bielefeld, maybe can be good in the defense and keep their sheet as clean as possible with 2 or 3 goals against them maybe. And so I don't like the clear games to bet on, because you can lose more than you can win if there is any surprise, and we have a lot of surprises in the Bundesliga in this season.
So we go for a no bet in this game?
No bet.
Gotcha. We move on to the next game. It's Stuttgart at home to Schalke. Schalke, they've run out of time, really. Stuttgart, they're 11th, beat Cologne 1-0 last weekend. They've got 7 points from their last 4 Bundesliga games, which has really steadied the ship for them. Looks like they'll be staying up with that 11-point gap to the relegation zone. Schalke, bottom, we don't want to focus on them too much, but they can still break a couple of records, including the fewest wins in a season and the fewest points in a season, if we consider the 3 points for a win rule. It was 1-1 in Gelsenkirchen in October. How do you see this game going?
Hard to say. I think Stuttgart might be the better team here. They are playing at home, but the odds on Stuttgart, considering that they are struggling every game and have to fight hard for points, is too low. To bet on Schalke is no consideration, because they might not ever win a game, and So they conceded 56 goals, and yeah, nothing more to say about Schalke. And nevertheless, they also are able to keep the game close, and that's why a bet on Stuttgart is is too low in odds, and anything else is pure speculation and gambling, and I don't do that. So if I'm just in a result tip, I even would say the most value is in a draw, because you get odds of 4.8 in a draw. You have to risk less money for it, and it's still not impossible that Schalke can make a point here, because Stuttgart is not that much better as the odds might suggest. But another tough game, another tough game day, and in most of the games I really don't find value on favorites, and in this case I don't see value on the underdog.
Okay, yeah, that's as you said, another tough game to pick, and another tough week in Germany's top flight. The next game, hopefully we'll find something here. It's Wolfsburg at home to Hertha. Hertha's form's a huge concern. Wolfsburg, they're third. They're another side actually really looking really strong and into the Champions League spots. They've won 5 of their last 6 in the league, and they're also through to the quarterfinals of the German Cup. Hertha 15th, we spoke about them last week and we said they could be in real trouble if they lose. They lost again 3-0. That's now 1 win in 12, and that one win was against Schalke. They've got 5 points from a possible 36. That's well and truly relegation form. Wolfsburg, they're 1.74 for the home win. Do you see any other result here?
Yes, it's always a problem, because the implied form on Hertha is much bigger than the standings and the results say, because I think they have great players and a good team, but they are not good playing, and they are not winning games, and they're not collecting points. And on the other hand, you have the choice. If you are a trend tipper, always think, oh yeah, the Wolfsburg wins so much games, of course they win this game. It's one argumentation where I'm really kind of aware of, because if you're always betting on trends, you're always one step behind, because every trend is gonna end. And maybe it's the Wolfsburg trend is in my eyes a thing of overperformance. They are really good and they're playing good, but they are there where they are because the other teams are really inconsistent, and like Dortmund and Leverkusen, Gladbach, and even Leipzig is not really that good in this season. So Wolfsburg might lose someday, and they also have 9 draws, and I'm really not 100% confident that they are really so good and better than Hertha, because I don't know why I always think Hertha belongs to the up in the standings, because they have a good team, and someday they have to show it. And that they lose against Leipzig, okay, this is not something you have to measure them, but it can be a close win for Wolfsburg, but also here attractive a draw of 4.2. Anyway, if you say Wolfsburg is in a better shape, the odds of 1.75 are good enough to bet on it. In my personal opinion, I would bet on a draw of 4.2.
Okay, very interesting. It's good insight for me. I think I probably come into the category of a trend better, so it's good to get some insight from Radek here. The next game is Leipzig at home to Gladbach. Leipzig, as we have mentioned, they closed the gap to Bayern to just 2 points with that win over Hertha. They really do need to keep picking up maximum points in every game if their title challenge is going to stand the test of time. Gladbach, they're 8th, no wins in 4 in the league, and they were comfortably beaten by Man City in Europe in midweek. their season sort of derailed slightly with Marco Rose's announcement that he'll be departing to Dortmund. Can Gladbach get anything at the Red Bull Arena? There's their 5.85 for a win. It's 4.45 for a draw. What do you think in this one?
Yeah, and it is almost always the same thing. If you have a favorite here in a game where the teams are, not that much, difference here, and it's dangerous to bet on Leipzig. But on the other hand, the point that Gladbach has to play in the Champions League some days ago, it was on Wednesday, then they have 2 or 3 days between only facing another strong international opponent like Leipzig. This is tough for Gladbach, even more that they are struggling within some games, and Marco Rose is going away. A really, really bad situation at the moment for Gladbach. Anyway, the Leipzig odds are too low. I think Gladbach is able to get 1 point in Leipzig, but then they have to show a complete different face, and that is speculation that this might happen. Maybe I personally placed a bet on a draw here as well, because the odds of 4.3 are very high. And my strategy behind that is that even here, I think Leipzig is going to win this game. It's not impossible that there will be a draw, and the probability for a draw is higher than the odds of 4.3, what is around 25 or 23% probability. And that's why in the long run, it's not a bad thing to bet on a draw here. And on the other hand, if you put several draws of this game day in a system bet, where you combine 4 draws and make double bets, out of all 4 draws you get 6 bets, and you have to win 2 draws out of 4 to make a nice profit. And that is a thing what I do in the Bundesliga for years now, and making profit each season. And that's a way to consider that Bundesliga and everything in betting is a long term, and any game can be a coin flip. Maybe Leipzig wins this game, but not really value in this.
No, 1.68 does look quite low for Leipzig in this tie. We move into Sunday's action. It's Union Berlin at home to Hoffenheim. Union, they returned to winning ways over Freiburg last week after 5 games without a win. They'll be targeting a top 10 finish, I think, by the end of the season, which will be a great return for their pre-season targets, I would imagine. Hoffenheim, they beat Bremen 4-0 last weekend. They've got a striker in form, but it's not our favourite Kramaric. It's Ilas Bebu. 3 goals in 4 games. Hoffenheim here, for this game, they're the away side, and they've got odds of 3.13. Do you think that's because Union are stronger at home, or why do you think that Hoffenheim have such large odds here?
I really don't really understand the huge odds, because it's, as you said, Hoffenheim is getting back to their top conditions and top form within the last games, and they also draw against Borussia Dortmund 2-2. That is also a good result in Dortmund, and now they beat Bremen, and I think the only point is that they have to play on Thursday against Molde in the Europe League at home, and I think this is not a big challenge for them, because they're playing at home. They won the first game, and they might advance to the quarterfinals here. On the other hand, Union Berlin at home is kind of a good home team. They only lost 1 game at home, but they have 6 draws at home out of 11 games. So this is a thing I'm aware of here. And if you might bet on Asian handicap and watching the line of odds around 2. I would say the same, that the value is more on the side of Hoffenheim, but as you see the odds of 2.4 for a home team, it's likely to bet on a draw here as well. You get odds of 3.6 for a draw. What I would do if you are into Asian handicap, maybe you can consider draw no bet on Hoffenheim. You get odds of 2.27, which is a good thing. Maybe even double chance on Hoffenheim, but there the odds are way too low with 1.64. So it's not that brilliant to find low odds and to think this might be a high probability, but at the end sometimes it's better to take big odds on underdogs or on draws, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. And yeah, I was looking at the double chance on Hoffenheim, but 1.66, 1.64 probably doesn't cut it for me either.
You can put in an accumulator maybe, then
there you go.
Okay, if you combine it with another game in a double bet, then I would say yes, go for it.
Okay, great. Looking into the penultimate game, on Matchday 23, it's Mainz at home to Augsburg. Mainz are properly battling for survival. They're one of the in-form sides in the division, despite being in the relegation zone. 3 wins from 5. They drew the other. They beat Gladbach at the weekend. They beat, obviously, Leipzig in January, and they drew with Bayern Leverkusen. Now they're just a point from escaping the drop. They take on Augsburg, as I said. No wins in 4 for them. They're in 13th place, and they really just don't score enough goals. They've got 22 in 22 games. I'm sure you can all work out that strike rate for yourselves. Mainz are the favourites at 2.14. Do you see them moving out of the relegation zone this weekend?
Yeah, might be. It's a classical game where everything can happen. So the problem I have with the odds is Mainz that better than Augsburg without considering their last results? No one would say that. I think it's a clear game where the odds should be balanced. If they are not balanced, we have a value on the bigger odds, and this is Augsburg in this case. And don't forget, Augsburg draw against Leverkusen 1-1, and they conceded the goal to the 1-1 in the 90+4 minute or something. It was really bad luck for them not winning against Leverkusen. And that means Augsburg is not that bad. And Mainz, for sure, brilliant games, winning against the clubs you said, is for sure a good sign that Bo Svensson is doing an awesome job in Mainz. And I hope for them that they keep the league for another year, because they survived in the first league 11 years in a row and always playing against relegation. So a great thing for Mainz. But in this case, they are not the clear favorite, in my opinion. And Augsburg also can win this game or draw, at least. Draw 3.7, best thing to do, in my opinion. But also double chance on Augsburg is even better than betting on a Mainz win. No matter how one game is ending, you have always to think about, is this a fair odd? Does the odd make sense? And what would you say what the odd will be if you don't know the odds? Make your own odds before you look at the odds, compare if you're better or lower, and then decide if it's worth to put money on and find value.
Yep, absolutely. That's how you found value. And as you said, that double chance with Augsburg does pay 1.8, so quite interesting there for the away side in this one. We go into the last game of this match day. It's Bayer Leverkusen at home to Freiburg. 2 out-of-form teams go head-to-head. Leverkusen 5th. They've actually scored 20 goals have been scored in their last 4 games, so lots of action at both ends. They play Young Boys in the Europa League tonight as we record. They're actually 4-3 down from that first leg. In the league, they've just got 1 win in 5. And it's going to be quite hard for them to squeeze into those top 4 places to qualify automatically for the Champions League. Their opponents, Freiburg, in ninth. They look sort of stuck in no man's land, I guess, at the moment. I don't really see them mounting a European charge, and they certainly won't be relegated. Looking at the odds, Leverkusen are 1.84 for a home win. How do we get that up slightly more to really double our money?
Yes, because Leverkusen, as I said, was really struggling against Augsburg to keep 1 point, and they playing on Thursday against Young Boys, where they lost the first game, what was a really huge surprise in my eyes. But side bet on Leverkusen to win against Young Boys Bern in the Europe League, because I think they win this game really sure, safe. I'm not saying that often, but in this case, I can't imagine that Leverkusen will not win this game now against Bern. Against Freiburg, we have another situation, because Freiburg is always a danger to every team. They won against Borussia Dortmund, but on the last game they had problems, and now in this game it's just a feeling. I think Leverkusen will beat them very high, and maybe 3-0, 3-1. Because they have personal problems for a lot of games now. That's why they went down a bit. But the young players are highly talented. We have Wirtz, who is 17 years or 18, and a lot of other highly talented players. They have problems in the defense for sure, because they're getting goals, 4 against Young Boys Bern, and even a goal against Augsburg and so on. But I think they're getting better with each game they play, and in this situation Freiburg is not that good, and I really like the win of Leverkusen with 1.85. I would go one step far or further and bet on Leverkusen Asian handicap -1. You get odds of around 2.5 here. That means Leverkusen has to win with 2 goals in advantage to win this bet with odds of 2.5. If they only win with 1 goal, you get your money back. Draw is also a chance here, but I see Leverkusen stronger. The only point against could be that they have to face this game against Young Boys Bern on Thursday, and they are struggling in their personal situation. And everything together, I still think Leverkusen is winning this game.
Okay, Leverkusen there looking like the favourite. We got double our money there with a tip on tonight's action in the Europa League on Bayer Leverkusen as well. So we've now previewed every game on Matchday 23 in the German top flight, but there's just one last thing that we need to do. It's the Bundesliga ACCA. Radek, please take it away to give our viewers what they want.
Okay, I would say, what are the best wins comparing to the odds? I would bet on wins on Frankfurt and Leverkusen, both around 1.8. And I would bet on Asian handicap plus 0.5, means double chance, on Augsburg and on Hoffenheim. And altogether, you get odds of around 9 to 10, which is not a bad thing for 4 games in one accumulator.
Well, absolutely, and the Bundesliga is known for its draws. So another tight week of fixtures in the German top flight. But Radek, I want to say thank you very much for your time and your insight. I can feel some winners this week.
Thank you.
So as you can see, it's going to be another tight weekend of action over in Germany. And if you've enjoyed the show, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and also hit that bell to make sure you don't miss any of our betting videos. You can now also listen to this as a podcast. And remember, if you want to win that £10 free bet from Novibet, all you have to do is leave a comment in the comment section below. We'll be back next week for much more odds on Bundesliga.